I'm Mark Drexler with the Climatographers, and in this video I'm going to quickly explore how the climate web may be able to help you support business decision making on climate change. I've been working with companies on this topic for decades, and I'm convinced that if business decision makers really understood what's at stake for their companies, it would change a lot of their decisions. What if the best available thinking from hundreds of experts could be turned into actionable climate knowledge specific to individual business decision makers' needs and circumstances? With that one sentence, you understand what we're trying to accomplish with the climate web. I've jumped into the climate web to the business climate web index. There are actually about 3,000 index entries, which just gives you an idea of the scope. If I click on business sectors, you'll see all the different business sectors that you can explore in terms of climate change impacts and many other things. If I go down the business decision support pathway, there are deep dives on business impacts and risks, business opportunity, business response, massive collections of information organized in all kinds of ways to make it easy to access. If I click on business topics, lots of business topics, just for example, clicking on carbon pricing, deep dive. Now all the deep dives, there are about 100 of them, are organized in a similar way. If I go down another level, carbon price forecasting, it points to sources, to news stories, to graphics, to knowledge bases, all around the topic of carbon price forecasting. If I click on the sources, it actually pulls up much of the literature for carbon price forecasting. A lot of these documents are in the climate web and available for immediate access. You see that CDP report pops right up. If I click on that report, you'll see that we've actually extracted lots of different ideas, graphics, and other things from the report so that you can take a look at them. They're then organized in their own right. So if I click on this thought, you'll see that it ties back to greenhouse gas carbon price forecasts graphics. If I click on that, it pulls together the collection of different graphics having to do with carbon price forecasts, and you can just sort of scan through how different people have been approaching the topic of visualizing and talking about carbon price forecasts. So all of this is linked together into a sophisticated knowledge web. Now, there's something else that we can do with the climate web that takes all of this information and uses it in a very different way. So I've showed you how the climate web organizes information in lots of different ways and extracts information from reports, etc. Now we can take any of that information for any particular purpose and organize it in a different way, actually using tags that don't involve all kinds of physical links. So this is a carbon pricing 101 dashboard, and it pulls together some of the key information that if you were just trying to learn about carbon pricing, you might want to be able to access, including index entries, headings, key reports. Many of those reports are right in the climate web and will pop up right there for you to be able to access. And in many cases, we've extracted information, et cetera. But we can do this kind of organization for any purpose, for helping an individual access exactly what they want to in the climate web every time they go into it, for exploring topics, whether carbon pricing or climate engineering, for putting together core libraries. We have a business risk library that pulls together the 100 key documents that if you review, you'll be up to speed on business risk. There's really no limit to how we can organize the information that we've put into the climate web that to help make business decision making and to help deliver actionable knowledge for business decision making. Literally thousands of options that we can pursue. Now I've popped back out of the climate web. I've organized a number of headings here just to give you a quick sense of the kinds of topics that I suspect a lot of business advisors would want to be able to quickly access. And all of these things you can get to within seconds in the climate web. You can stop the video and take a more detailed look if you want. So the question is, how can the climate web support you in delivering actionable climate knowledge to your clients? And there are a number of ways that come to mind in terms of simply reducing the amount of time required to track topics within your firm. Climate Web is equivalent to several dedicated staff. You can download it. You can do all kinds of things. We can customize the climate web in all kinds of ways for specific client purposes, whether personalized doorways or topical doorways or web-based courses for clients, lots of different things. We've actually delivered advisory services with the climate web and put overlays into the climate web for materiality assessments, climate assumptions audits, scenario planning that you could potentially offer through the climate web. All this can be done in partnership with us or even independent of us. And basically the question is, how can you leverage the 20,000 hours of expert curation that are in the climate web in delivering actionable climate knowledge to clients? I'm going to leave it at that. Here is some contact information, and I would welcome the opportunity to follow up and explore how you think this could benefit what you are doing with clients. Thanks.